Hi YouTube, we're here with Team Royalty's Anthony Gausepohl. In the deck profile video, we said we would release a combo video for how he made his broken boards in Gouki. So here is the video for that, and yeah, let's start.
So let's just look at our opening hand here. So basically there's a way we can make a sold, which is our #1 priority. Let's say this Gouki wasn't here. We would be basically forced to try to make Invoker, which we can do. So even without the Gouki here, this hand isn't really a brick. But again, I played much more conservative and safer. I'd rather go for the Sold, which will leave me with something, even if they have Disruption. So let's put our hand right here. A little special junk forward, and normal summon Gouki Twist Cobra, and link these into a Sold. Sold will become Chainlink 1, Twist Cobra Chainlink 2 to protect the Sold. So off the Twist Cobra, we're going to end up searching Gouki Headbat, wherever it is. There it is. And off the Sold, because we can't use the card, summon it in any way, we're going to search Gouki Bear Hug. Then we'll use a Sold effect. So this is the one moment where your Sold is basically weak, but even if it is, we still search 2 Goukis there. We're going to send the Divine Sword, special summon Octastretch. Now at this point, if we drew the Divine Sword, we'd send Moonmere Shield, of course. If we drew both of them, we would have put Moonmere Shield down first to send it back to the deck. But luckily we didn't draw either of those two. So we'll special summon the Headbat. And then, just to make sure that it gets done, we can banish both of those warriors to add back Divine Sword. And then link 2. And here we're going to bring out Cerberus. Cerberus, we're not going to use its effect, it's turn 1, but we will do Octastretch and Headbat. The key off of those is, off one of them you have to get Rematch. Off the other one, since we started with the 3 and it's already used its effect, that's going to mean we're either going to search 5 or 4. So in this case, let's get 5, which is the Scorpio. And the very first thing we're going to be doing is rematching, bringing back any 2, doesn't matter, since the very first thing they hit the board, and you make Firewall Dragon. Now Firewall, from this point we're just going to try to special summon as many monsters as possible. So we're going to link 1, bring out Nightmare Mermaid, and then because this is the one section we're going to make our Firewall open to Disruption, we have to activate Nightmare Mermaid Chainlink 1, Firewall Chainlink 2, because if we make Mermaid Chainlink 2, it's going to bring out Ibly, and then we can't special with the Firewall. So Chainlink 2 Firewall will special with Scorpio, Chainlink 1 Nightmare Mermaid, brings out Nightmare Corruptor Ibly, and then we'll draw a card off the Mermaid. Let's see. So we'll banish the Assault and banish the Twist Cobra to add back Divine Sword. From this point, it doesn't necessarily matter what warriors you banish, other than you keep the 1 in your grave. The Octastretch basically has to stay there. Then we'll link these 2 for Nightmare Goblin. And at this point, our chains are going to work. Chainlink 1 Firewall Dragon to special summon, Chainlink 2 Firewall Dragon bouncing back the Octastretch and the Ibly, Chainlink 3 Goblin effect discarding the Divine Sword to normal summon again, and Chainlink 4 the Scorpio. So resolving backwards, the Scorpio is going to end up getting the Suprex. Goblin will draw us a card. We'll add both of these back to our hand, and then we're going to end up specialing the Suprex. Now, the reason we added back the Ibly is so when we summon with our extra normal summon, we'll get back Cerberus. Now, a lot of people ask me why I run Binary Sorceress. It is for this reason solely. You make a link 2 here, triggering Firewall Dragon effect, special summoning Octastretch. Or excuse me, Chainlink 1, the Suprex, or Chainlink 1, yeah, my mistake. So you're going to end up basically, same as always, protecting your Firewall Dragon. So Chainlink 1, the Firewall, Chainlink 2, the Suprex. Here it doesn't matter what you're searching. So we'll search Twist Cobra, for example. You can search a rematch here because we have enough of those in hand already. And we'll special summon the Twist Cobra. We're going to banish 2 warriors from our graveyard, add back the Divine Sword. And then now we can make Curious because we have 3 Earths, 1 that's a Cyberse, 1 that's a Fiend, and 1 that's a Warrior. Again, protecting Firewall Dragon, Chainlink 1, Curious Chainlink 2. We're going to send Imperial Order because we don't know the matchup. It's just a very safe card, very good in this format. Firewall's going to special the Octastretch.
Do we have to mill 3 with Curious first?
I believe that happens afterwards.
Okay.
Because you can't interrupt the chain.
Okay.
It doesn't necessarily matter much in this situation, but yeah, we'll mill 3. There happen to be 3 extenders. The only time where your mill actually matters is if we have Monster Reborn to bring Firewall Dragon back later to add a hand trap. But so we'll special summon that there. Now the reason we bring Octastretch out is that's the easiest way to make a link, which will then again trigger the Firewall Dragon effect. So we'll special that there. And then we're going to use the Link Rebo and the Curious to form Nightmare Griffin. We can go Chainlink 1. Chainlink 1, since at this point now, Firewall doesn't necessarily matter. Use Griffin effect, Chainlink 1, Firewall Dragon, Chainlink 2. Special summoning that there. Then Griffin activates. We'll get Imperial Order, set it, and draw a card. Again, just to be safe, don't put it in this column because if your opponent goes Blue Sky for some reason, you'll have to negate that or they'll draw 3 cards. That's the Mech Knight. Just so you always have this in hand to be safe, just banish 2 warriors. Having it in your hand is always good. And our last maneuver is going to be putting all 3 of your monsters, your Firewall, and the 2. You're going to bring out Trigate. So that creates a link there with your Trigates. And people again ask why traps, because in this situation we were able to go off as is. We're able just to set our traps there and have even more of a board. So at the end of all this, we have boards that can't be targeted. All monsters that aren't linked or less lose 1,000 attack. You have to be linked to activate effects. Then we have Solemn Strike, Imperial Order, and Solemn Warning. That includes basically an Ogre in hand and a Headbat and a Divine Sword to somewhat keep going. We have a negate with the Trigate. If we're doing this offensively, you don't necessarily need to make the Curious. Instead, you can bring out like a Phoenix, pop a back row, and just go for an OTK. You have Trigate that's able to banish a card as well, which helps.
Okay, cool. So I guess that's one thing. You mentioned that Impermanence sucked. I noticed that you needed to sometimes special like hand traps or extra monsters. So would you just like replace it with Veiler, I guess, then? Yeah,
so part of it is because of your board, you don't necessarily need hand traps there. Hand traps are a lot better going second. So if it came down to it, like when I had that other junk for it, I could have specialed, for example, the Ogre there. Impermanence, going first, it does absolutely nothing for you. You can set it. No one's ever going to activate a spell or trap in that zone. And even against something like Evenly, you have to have a monster on your opponent's board to activate it. While if it was a Veiler, even a worst case scenario, I could special summon it and make a Trigate with it.
Okay, cool. Thanks for letting us know about the cool combo you played at the Vegas Regional. And I guess thank you to making everyone have to run like 9+ hand traps again, because if you don't stop it, it looks like you're not beating it.
Yeah, thank you.